She had a pretty picture-perfect pregnancy other than, very minor things that had come up, but otherwise very, very easy. She was 4 days past her due date, and I could tell something seemed a little bit off that day. I wasn't quite sure what was going on, and went to the doctors and was told everything looked great. They seemed to think I was in labor and brought me to the hospital, and so the labor was wonderful. It was very upbeat. We had just loved our team at Akron General, and we were just very excited to meet this little girl who we were just anticipated so much. And it wasn't until she physically left my body that it became clear that something had changed. Faces in the room went from joy-filled to concern. And I, being the mom and in the position that I was in, I couldn't see anything. I didn't know what was happening. I remember my sister being in the room and trying to assure me that things were okay, but I could tell on her face that she wasn't telling the truth. And so I'd say about an hour or so after her delivery, they whisked her away very quickly. I had a team working on her. I could hear bits and pieces of what was happening. Working at Akron Children's, it made sense to me. I could understand what they were saying all too well. I wish I hadn't. And so I didn't feel surprised. I was hoping I was wrong, but when the doctor came in and told us that they were concerned that she had brain damage, and the best explanation to date is that about 24 hours before we had her, she had compressed her umbilical cord in the womb, and it just caused a lack of sufficient oxygen to get to her brain.
People will say the umbilical cord was wrapped around her neck. Is that not?
It was not wrapped. It wasn't wrapped. It wasn't kinked. There were no knots. And that's why it's so hard for us to comprehend. They say it's really common that babies sort of pinch their cord or lean up against their cord for whatever reason. It caused her distress. The timeline as it went, it was the night before I was sleeping, so I didn't notice any changes in her movement until I woke up the next day, which at that point was already, unfortunately, too late.
Okay. And since that time, you've been through this whirlwind of emotions and all of these projects that you've undertaken.
Yeah.
This doesn't sound like a silly question, but why is it so important for you to keep her memory alive?
Sure, it's not a silly question.
And what does she mean to you every day? Do you know what I mean?
And I think that's right there. What does she mean to me every day? And that's what's so important to us. She is our daughter. Death doesn't erase her role in our family. She is always our firstborn. We include her in everything, and that's so important to my husband, myself. We have a son now, and we will always teach him about her. He can point out her pictures around our house, and we have birthday parties for her. We hang a stocking at Christmas. We decorate a tree for her at the Akron Children's Holiday Tree Festival every year. We've done the nonprofit, the projects. I think any bereaved parent's biggest fear is having their child forgotten. And that's certainly something that's very important to us, is not to have that. And I don't think it's as important to us if the world should not pay attention. But in our family, she's our daughter. And I don't see it being any different than, honestly, any other parents that are doing what they do for their kids. It's a different way of parenting. For the first... until we had our son, that was the only parenting we knew, and we just refused to give up and roll over and just really drown in our grief. It became so much more important to us to focus on the love, focus more on the love that we have for her rather than the pain in losing her, and that gave us sort of the inspiration. And luckily, I always fear, the project's going to end. Are we going to run out of ideas or things to do? And so far, it hasn't happened, and so I just keep being surprised, and I kind of just laugh with her and think...
So on her 18th birthday and everything, you're going to continue to do this. Is it ever too hard to find ways to keep doing this? Like, does it ever make your pain more pronounced because you're always having to think of things to do, and it brings back some of the tough memories too? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Not really. Yeah, not really. I think, I don't go through every day trying to comb over ideas of what we're going to do next. We truly don't. If something inspires us, I truly believe that she is behind it. Like this Find the Love project, I just had an idea. People aren't doing it because of me. People aren't doing it because I've touched them. They have been touched by her. So she is continuing to inspire people and inspire us to come up with these ideas. So I think if it ever felt too hard or too difficult, then that's a sign for us to kind of, reevaluate and change what we're doing up a little bit. But the book project was probably the most difficult thing because, going back 3 years and being in a different stage of, our grief now, the pain is always there. It's never gone. It doesn't change. But the rawness of the emotion is not, there as present. And putting myself back there to make sure that the writing was correct and that it told the story that I wanted it to tell. That could be daunting at times, and I would talk to her and say, I just don't want to do this today. I can't do it. And but again, I think as a parent, you forge ahead and you do what you think is best for your children.
Talk to her a lot now, and she'd be 3.
Absolutely,
now,
she would be 3.
She
would just be 3.
Thinking or what her mom has done for her.
I always tell her I hope I make her proud, and I think that's for me the biggest thing. None of this is, for me or for my son or for my husband. This is about her. I've thought that when I was pregnant with her, even my baby shower that I had when I was pregnant with her, I did not want to be a celebration of me in any way. I joked that I was just her vessel. I was just her means to get there, and I very much feel that way. I hope that she's proud. I hope that if at any point things aren't going the way that she would want them to go, then it would be obvious to me, and I would again take a step back and reevaluate.
I'm sure she is. Is there anything else you want to tell me that I haven't asked you?
I don't think
important?
so.
You covered a lot.
I know. I don't think so. I'm so thankful for the opportunity to share her. I mean, what mom doesn't want to talk about her kids? And I always tell my husband, one of the hard things is not having the opportunities to have proud parent moments the way that other parents do. Especially having our son now, we see it differently. We have beautiful photos that we do post of her still all the time, so I guess I shouldn't say that. But, I don't get to see her go to her first father-daughter day dance. I don't get to take her to kindergarten on her first day or watch her go to prom or, walk down the aisle. So things like this, to see people responding in such a way, over 1,100 people in 3 weeks' time, to stop what they're doing every day, to focus on the good in their own lives, all because of our daughter. And that's the proudest mom moment I think I could have. It's humbling.
That's beautiful. Butterflies significant?
Yes, they've become very significant. That's from when we were in the NICU. My husband, we received a beautiful gift for her, a snow globe that had butterflies spiraling down, and we would play it for her at night. And my husband whispered in her ear one night that whenever we'd see a butterfly, we'd think of her. And so our labels for our blankets have butterflies on them, where they have become very special to us. So.
And the art is?
Her handprint and footprints, stay very close to me.
You're getting a lot of attention with what you're doing with this Facebook campaign called Find the Love with the # hashtag.
Yes.
What is that, and why did you do it? It kind of explain to us how that has sort of taken off.
Yeah, sure. So every year to kind of honor the 3 weeks that our daughter lived, we try and come up with some way to celebrate the 21 days. We really try and focus on the time that we had with her. And the last 2 years, we've done something tied. I'm sorry, I'm going to go out of order. I apologize. I know. No, it's fine. So I was going to say, change around whatever you need. But so the first 2 years, to honor her 21 days, we tied it into her nonprofit organization. And when we donate blankets back to Akron Children's, we had a special edition label that we sewed onto those blankets to honor and celebrate the 21 days that she lived. This year, we just kind of felt like it was time to do something different, just to add in a little bit extra. And I've been seeing on Facebook, it seems like photo projects are becoming more and more popular. People seem to really enjoy taking time and sharing things of their personal lives and putting it on so people can see different aspects that they otherwise wouldn't. And so I ran it by my husband, talked to a few friends, and it really came down to what was so important to us about her 3 weeks that she spent with us here on Earth, and also that she continues to touch our lives. And it was really all about how she helped us really focus and find love in some of the most difficult and darkest moments. And that theme just resonated with not just my husband and I, but so many friends, so many family, and so many people that we didn't even know. And so it just sort of made sense. We were like, that's perfect. Let's just do this Find the Love project and invite people to just do that. Take time out of their daily lives, pause, and find the love that's so abundantly around us every day. We're all busy, we're all stressed, and there's so much just moving from one thing to the next thing. And so I think it's just a really neat opportunity in honor of her to take some time out and focus on the good that's there.
So while your daughter is the motivation for you,
yes,
anyone can go on to this and not necessarily be in a situation similar to you. It's
correct.
Not about people who have only lost children. It's about taking the time to appreciate what you have and the people around you.
Absolutely. And I think that's what's been so humbling and touching for me to see the response that we've had. Certainly when people go to the event page, it does explain about our daughter, and this is why we've created the project. And truly, I expected maybe closest friends and families. I thought maybe 80 to 100 people might participate, people that we knew, people that know of her. And so to see the amount of people that we don't know who are participating, who are posting messages saying, thank you for doing this project. This has just been a really neat way for us to take time to appreciate the good and the beauty around us, is so meaningful to us, especially during this time of year.
And do you want to move it forward past the 15th? I know you have that time.
I know. So that has come up several times. And I hate to say the word no, but my fear is that past the 15th, people have asked me, can we keep this going, which I think is so wonderful and inspiring. My fear is that people will continue it will fizzle. People will get too busy. People will fall back into their routines. So it's really important for me to keep it focused on the 3 weeks, because this is why we're doing it. It really is centered around her. And so the 15th will be the last day that I post on the page. People can certainly keep going. I encourage people to continue to find the love every day. I think we'll definitely bring it back next year to honor her again. I'd love for it to keep growing, and if it does, I think maybe we'll reevaluate. But I think for all intents and purposes, the event will officially close. We have it on the 15th at the time that she passed away, ending. But if people continue to post and surprise me, I'll be thrilled. I'd love to see it go through forever.
And how many likes does it have or follow?
As of this morning, there were 1,183 people that were participating in the event.
Wow. And those are people who have either just liked it or have put their own personal story behind it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you've done other things. You have a nonprofit, you said, and what's it called?
We do. The nonprofit is called Team Sophie Chapter 2. We really felt like Team Sophie sort of formed on its own. It was her life, her ability to bring so many people together in the name of love and to inspire some hope and faith. And so it just sort of made sense that the nonprofit was the next chapter, the giving back, the chapter 2.
And what does it do? It's not what you raise money to do?
We actually do very little fundraising, which has been great because we have so many wonderful people that donate back to us. We provide hand-tied fleece blankets primarily to the patients at Akron Children's Hospital, the NICU, the PICU. We've certainly branched out because we've had so many donations to other areas of the hospital. We've had an amazing opportunity to provide blankets to several hospitals throughout the country, even into Haiti. Anybody can go onto our nonprofit page, and if they know of anybody facing just a difficult time in need of a little extra support, they can request a blanket to be sent. And we have very little, requirements for what that is. Our primary focus are the kids at the hospital. But
so are they children that are typically sick or lost a child? Or
any child that comes to the NICU, every NICU child, we'd like to have a blanket in their hands, and we strive to do that. Other children, it's if we get an alert like, hey, this patient just came in, we'd really like her to have a blanket, we do that. It could be a child that does great and is in for a day, just has a small outpatient surgery and goes home. Still certainly traumatic for those families, stressful for those families. So the blankets were really important to us. When we were in the NICU with Sophie, they became sort of just my comfort item. I would sleep with them at night because they smelled like her. They would bring me such comfort even in the days after she died. And so that's why we made that connection, just to offer somebody some physical warmth, some physical comfort, but really a whole lot of emotion and love behind it. Several people make them. She has had some parties for us. It has really been, I can't even say an Ohio effort. We have good friends, I'm from New England, that ship us blankets regularly. We've probably given out close to 1,000 blankets at this point. And we
all
probably
over the place, not just in...
Primarily Akron Children's, but they have gone to hospitals in Rhode Island, not just children's hospitals. If we hear somebody who's a parent who's had a stroke, we want to let them know that we're thinking of them too. We've done hospitals in New Mexico, Tennessee, like I said, we had a mission trip go to Haiti, and we were able to send some blankets to those children too.
Okay, and then you wrote this book also. And
I did.
Tell me, you can, if you want to show it to us, you can hold it up and tell me what it's about.
Sure. I mean, basically, it's our journey. It's our life, everything that we experienced. Facebook played such a pivotal role in our days right from the beginning, because it's it's the social hub. It's where everybody is. And in those early days when we were finding out just the sudden and the terrifying news about our daughter, it was so much easier for me to post updates to friends and families on Facebook than making phone calls. I couldn't do it. And so those updates quickly turned into something more than that. They became a way for me to sort of process what was happening, to be able to see it on paper, on screen, and sort of come to terms with what was happening. And so it was really important to me to be able to take that writing after she died, and it just felt like there should be something more with that. And so with those writings and working with a team of great people, I was able to create a book of our story, and it's our journey from day one until well after she did pass away. And my goal is just to offer hope, to inspire hope and love to folks that are going through a difficult time.
How can people?
People can purchase it. It's available on Amazon.com. And so far it came out around Thanksgiving, and I'm trying to think, I think we're up to almost 300 books at this point, which has been really exciting. Thank you.